Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2001 Jeep Wrangler Sport. Up front is a 4.0 liter inline 6 and down below is a 4-speed automatic gearbox. And if you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive where I'll be writing a complete article about the Wrangler. But let's get back to one of America's favorite vehicles, and really the world's favorite vehicle. Now, like I said, it has that 4.0 liter inline 6, which really isn't meant for power. It puts out about 180 horsepower, but it's really about that torque. That torque is what you want off-road, which is what this thing is made for, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, this Jeep is by no means fast, like I said, even though it has that 4.0 liter straight 6. It's all torque. It's all torque. There was a 4-cylinder offered in the Jeep Wranglers. This is the TJ generation, but fortunately this has the bigger 6-cylinder, so that's what we're going to be talking about. The 4-speed automatic transmission, it's all right. It does the job. I've been driving the Jeep, doesn't seem to have an issue. Although manual is usually preferred when you go off-roading, just so you can really lock it into a set gear and go from there. One nice thing about this transmission is that you can put it into first and second gear with the gear selector. So it's not a manual, but if you really need to keep it in first gear, you really need to keep it there, you can put it in first and it will stay there. So if you're climbing up something tall or something like that, you can put it down into 1 and then do your business that way. One thing is in the corners, you do feel pretty top heavy. Being used to driving RX-7s and Miatas, it's a really weird sensation when you take a corner and you just kind of feel the top go, oh, like now. Now let's talk about the interior. In front of me, I have a couple of gauges, my speedometer, RPMs, fuel, battery, oil, and water temperature, which is really all I need. It's really basic. I can read what I need, and that's it. They're very plain gauges. On the steering wheel, I have cruise control. In the center, I have a radio, my heating and air conditioning options, and then a couple little toggle switches for the defrosters, wipers, and that sort of thing. Then, of course, down below, you have the shifter. You have your lever for the 4-wheel drive, because all Wranglers are 4-wheel drive, and you can select it. And then 2 little cup holders and a handbrake. Really basic interiors, and Jeeps are definitely not about their interiors. They're about the fun. They're about taking the top off, which, if you didn't know, this is technically a convertible. This one has the cloth top on it right now, but Matt, the owner, also has a hard top, which is really nice, and I think that's a huge appeal for Jeep Wrangler owners, or really anyone who wants a Jeep, is that you could take all of this off. There's a roll bar here, 2 little roll bars in the back, and that's what's actually keeps you inside. It's funny because there's actually a sticker up here that says always buckle up, vehicle may tip, but in the newer Wranglers it actually says that the roof and doors are not designed to keep people in. Speaking of the doors, you can remove them. Each door will actually come off, so you can drive with your foot out the side, as well as the windshield will fold down. If you have an Allen key, you can actually take those off, fold the windshield down, and really have an open air experience. Now, this Jeep is a 2-door, 4-seater, which is nice. If you have to take people along, they can hop in the back, and when you're in the back with the top off, it's a really cool experience because you have 1 bar over here, 1 bar over there, but really it's an open top experience, and the closest you can come in a modern car to having a rumble seat. If you guys don't know what a rumble seat is, back in the day, old cars, they had their little cabin and then they had a fold-out seat in the back when there wasn't any rollover protection, regulations, or anything like that. I'll try to show a picture. If I can get a copyright-free picture, I'll show one here. I rode in one of those back in the day when I was really little, and it's a very similar experience sitting in the back of the Jeep. The seats are pretty comfortable, and when pretty, I say actually really comfortable. They almost feel like a wetsuit. I don't know what material these are, but they feel like a wetsuit, and they're actually really cushiony and really nice. They don't hold you that well, but when you're bouncing around, they have real good cushion. It's not like you're sitting in a church pew going off-road. So, how does the Jeep Wrangler drive? horrible. And hear me out on this, because I'm not hating on Jeeps, but actually driving this Jeep day to day, it does have a lift, has bigger, chunkier tires on it, all that stuff. Actually driving a Jeep on pavement, it kind of sucks. This thing's about as aerodynamic as a flat screen TV flying out of the third-story balcony of an apartment complex after a nasty breakup. That's just it. They're not aerodynamic. There's a lot of play in the steering wheel. They're not that powerful. Because of the convertible top, they're rather noisy. And so it might come off like I'm saying that these are horrible cars to drive. And day to day, I'm not so sure about it. But what car can you drive day to day that can do as much as a Jeep? There's not many. This Jeep and Jeeps in general can do whatever you want them to do. Whatever you ask them to do, they can do it. You can drive down an embankment. You can drive back up that embankment. You can tow with these things. You can drive them all throughout the winter, and you can be the one that gets to school when no one else does on a snow day. You could take the top fully off. How many other cars can you say that you could drive around with the top completely off, drive it down an embankment, through a stream, and park it? You definitely can't say that about a Miata, and you definitely can't say it about your crossover SUV. These things are so capable. And so for that, yeah, they're not the best driving vehicles. As you can see, I'm kind of fighting it a little bit. But they make up for it in the fact that they can do everything. It's not great on pavement, but it's great driving through water. It's great driving up an embankment. It's great everywhere else. It's spread out. And I really do think that that is the appeal. That's why people like Jeeps, is because it captures that American spirit, that American can-do attitude that really almost no other vehicle captures. Pickup trucks, kind of. You know, pickup trucks, I said in my Ford F-150 review, pickup trucks kind of give you that attitude of can do anything, because you could throw anything in the bed and that sort of thing. But these things off-road tend to be better than most pickup trucks off-road, at least in their stock form. You could take a Jeep non-lifted. This one is lifted, like I said, on bigger tires, on bigger wheels. But you could take a stock Jeep Wrangler, drive it up and down an embankment that a stock truck could not make. Now, another reason why I'm totally okay with the fact that this thing isn't great to drive is because of that military history. Jeeps were originally made for the military. And so military vehicles don't have to be comfortable, they just have to work. And so I wanted to be clear that I wasn't expecting this thing to drive like a brand new Mercedes. I was expecting it to be rough and tumble, because that's what it is. That's what it's made for. It's like that uncle that has a dry sense of humor and doesn't understand any other humor. But that's his sense of humor. That's just how he is. Doesn't make him a bad person because he doesn't laugh out loud at comedy specials. So would I buy a Jeep Wrangler? Yes, I would buy a Jeep Wrangler, but I don't think I would have it as my only car. I don't think I would daily drive one. But on the weekends, if you want to go down to the lake, you want to go out into the country, a Jeep will take you there, and a Jeep will get you there. Another thing that you get with the Jeep that you don't get in any other car is the culture. Anytime you see another Jeep, you throw them a little wave. And I think that's really cool. I think that really gives you a sense of community. So if you're looking to get into cars, but you don't know much, it's really a safe bet to get into a car or car culture that has a big community, that has a big group of people that know what they're doing. And when it comes to Jeeps, there is a big group of people that know what they're doing. And that is so important. So while this is my first Wrangler I've reviewed on the channel, I've driven other ones, and I hope to review other ones because these are very fun vehicles. And as far as I can tell, Jeep stays true to its original thesis statement. That is, create a rough and rugged vehicle that's fun on-road as well as off-road, and that can get you anywhere. I don't know if that was their exact thesis statement, but it must be pretty dang close. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the 2001 Jeep Wrangler Sport. If you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive. But again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.